cell phones when you've got a paradise like this? I mean, look at it. It's incredible.
We've given up texting for an adventure on Santa Cruz Island.
Come along as we explore this island right off the California coast.
And meet some teens who are working to preserve it.
Eco Company
starts now. Bon voyage, mainland. Eco Company's headed westbound across the Pacific. We're aboard an island packers ferry en route from Ventura Harbor to Santa Cruz Island off the California coast. It's a 25-mile trip out to sea, and there's no cell phone service where we're going. Topside, it's smooth sailing, and we're keeping our eyes peeled for wildlife. Not easy to spot on this gray day, but before long, we've got our destination in our sights. This is where we'll be spending the next 4 days alongside ecologists, biologists, and high school students who are on a mission to protect an island paradise. Here we go!
Well, everybody, we made it to the island. I'm Jordan.
And I'm Adam. I only saw the wee fin of a dolphin on the way here, but hopefully we'll see more on the way out.
No problem, though. There's plenty of things to explore here, so let's go check it out.
Let's do it.
All right.
It's an island playground for both adventurers and ecologists. A place full of surprises.
Hey, Adam, I think we made it.
An oasis.
And rewards for hikes well done.
Almost there.
I'm refreshed just looking at it.
It's worth the hike?
Definitely worth the hike.
This is Santa Cruz Island, the largest of California's 8 channel islands. It's home to gigantic sea caves, steep cliffs, and dramatic vistas. Make no mistake about it, this is rugged terrain. The Nature Conservancy's Rick Wiles wouldn't be anywhere else.
This is, I think, one of the most beautiful places on this planet.
The Nature Conservancy is a non-profit environmental group that owns, well, more than half the island. It manages it alongside the U.S. Park Service, which allows camping in some locations.
I'm told it's about the size of Manhattan. True or false?
Yeah, it's about the size of Manhattan. It's a lot less crowded than Manhattan, though. You may have noticed. Yeah.
77 miles of coastline surround the island, which is the most biodiverse of all the Channel Islands. It's also the only place to see the island scrub jay and the endangered Santa Cruz Island fox.
There's a lot of critters out here, island endemic critters that exist nowhere else but right here on Santa Cruz Island.
In all, more than 1,000 species of plants and wildlife call this place home. So from high peaks with a view to rocky beaches with crashing waves, this island draws explorers who want to get away from it all.
You know, there's a lot more to Santa Cruz Island than meets the eye.
Not too long ago, the entire island's ecosystem almost collapsed until ecologists jumped in to save it.
It might not look like it now, but in the not-too-distant past, Santa Cruz Island was an island in trouble.
The island fox population was about ready to blink out. The bald eagles were extinct.
The outlook wasn't a good one when the Nature Conservancy inherited the island back in 1978. So what happened? 1. A pesticide dumped into the ocean decades before had made its way up the food chain. Its effects made birds' eggshells too thin to hatch, and the bald eagle went extinct. Then, the island fox almost did the same. Biologist Christine Bozer says that's thanks in part to the golden eagle that moved in.
Island foxes existed without predators for many hundreds of years. So when golden eagles came up to the island foxes didn't know how to react to that predation, and their numbers dwindled very, very quickly.
But it wasn't just the wildlife in trouble, it was the very island itself. So 10 months ago, this was just a pasture.
Right, exactly. It had all been filled in, and there were corrals here, and no ponds at all.
This is a far cry from 200 years ago, when this was the largest wetland in all the Channel Islands.
When Europeans first came to the islands, they engaged in ranching, and mostly cattle ranching, sheep ranching.
You can see some of the island's history in these old buildings.
All this used to be part of the island's cattle ranching days.
And these wetlands used to be pasture. Now, the Nature Conservancy and the U.S. Park Service are working together to bring it back.
This is a joint project between the National Park Service and the Nature Conservancy, and we work very closely together on all the restoration and all the weed work and everything that goes on the island.
It's teamwork that's working. Water now fills these ponds again.
There's a little tree frog in here. He just hopped out of the mud and he's kind of hiding down here.
Meanwhile, the bald eagles are soaring again above the island, and the island fox population is on its way back. Santa Cruz Island has got some beautiful views. Get a load of this.
Yes, this view definitely makes that hike worth it.
Next, we're going to meet with some teens who are looking for foxes.
They're part of the Nature Conservancy's LEAF program. What do you say we go find out more?
Let's do it.
Some people will go and stay over here and then hike this whole ridge and just come over here. So, you guys ready to head off?
Yeah, let's go. Let's go. They're high schoolers from the big city transplanted to the great outdoors. These teens are among dozens nationwide taking part in LEAF. It stands for the Leaders in Environmental Action for the Future program run by the Nature Conservancy.
Tell us about that program.
So the LEAF program is super exciting. It's a highly competitive summer internship program where we take urban youth kids, bring them out to our nature preserves, couple them up with our scientists, where they get to learn green job skills and do lots of conservation work.
High schoolers Kiera Adams and Ashley Rios are among a group of Southern California teens who are here for a month-long adventure.
So I decided to apply for this program so I could get the experience of being outdoors for a month on a secluded island with like 7 other girls from my school.
I wanted to come here to get like a new experience because I'm like a little city girl and I have never been in nature this long for a whole month.
Today, these paid interns are heading out into the rugged terrain to learn more about efforts to save the endangered Santa Cruz Island fox.
So, I was thinking from here we
TNC biologists Adam Dillon and Christy Bozer are heading up the field crew.
I'm really excited to have the LEAF girls out here, learning more about them, where they come from, and seeing them experience the nature that we have out here is a treasured experience for me. Hiking boots on, ready? All right.
The entire area is mapped out grid by grid, and getting to our locations takes a bit of legwork, to put it lightly.
Yeah, it's a big adventure, huge adventure.
They'll be experiencing a fox capture event wherein we will check the fox for any health problems. We'll be vaccinating them against certain canine diseases.
The goal here is to make sure the fox population is healthy and to keep tabs on their numbers.
The island fox was put on the endangered species list in 2004. We're on track for getting them off the endangered species list within a couple of years.
After a short hike, it doesn't take long to spot our first critter of the day. But definitely not the one we expected.
Coming up, will the crew survive a skunk sighting?
I was just imagining like a big skunk spraying us. We were gonna get smell.
And will we make it to our destination? Did they cut through here?
All right, we missed the path.
All right.
Here we go.
Plus, a close encounter of another kind.
Oh my God!
More Eco Company is next. It's a perfect afternoon for a skunk sighting on Santa Cruz Island off the California coast.
The skunks are pretty rare these days. It's a joy when we find one.
We're hanging out with the Nature Conservancy and teens from LEAF, its environmental program for high school students. They're helping researchers preserve and protect the island and its species. They're looking out for the Santa Cruz Island fox and anything else that comes their way.
These island skunks, they don't smell as bad as the skunks that you have in your neighborhood. These guys have a little foxy odor to them and a little less skunky odor, and they're not quite as bad to handle.
Lucky for us, this one left as a happy camper. So you guys weren't really disappointed to see a skunk in place of a fox, huh?
No, we don't really see, we've been here a couple days and we haven't really seen a skunk here on the island. We're used to seeing foxes all the time. And back on the mainland, the skunks are like bigger, or like in movies, they have a giant white
Very
stripe.
smelly. Yeah.
Spray everywhere. Like the
Oh,
chances
yeah.
of not getting sprayed when you see a skunk on the mainland is so rare, but
Yeah.
we survived this one.
Yeah, we did.
We did, we're good.
Now back to the matter at hand. Keeping tabs on the endangered Santa Cruz Island fox.
These foxes are really small. They're about 4 pounds only, so that's a lot smaller than your average house cat.
The workup kit is ready, and we don't have to wait long to find one, but it's a delicate situation, so the leaf teens must keep their distance.
So right now we're masking the fox to try and limit his stress level. If they're not seeing what's going on, it tends to be a little bit more calming for them.
Foxes are vaccinated and tagged with a microchip, then get a physical.
We also take a flea comb to him, and we have a protocol where we swipe 3 times down each side and check for fleas. This is again just to make sure that the fox is healthy. We got 1 little flea in here.
A bite bar is used so biologists can give them a dental checkup.
This is our humane way of getting them to open their mouths so we can look at the teeth, make sure that there is nothing wrong in there.
Detailed records are kept on every animal's condition.
He's looking pretty good, the eyes look clear, parasite load is good, he's pretty healthy, and he's definitely feisty and ready to get going. So we are going to let him go.
Okay, so we found our first fox of the day. Was it a pup or an adult? I couldn't really tell. I don't have a frame of reference.
This was a young male. He was kind of a juvenile stage, not quite a puppy, but a nice adult. He didn't have his canines in, so he's gonna work on getting those in.
All of these efforts aren't lost on the leaf crew.
They have to keep them healthy, so it's pretty awesome what they're doing right now.
Biologist Adam Dillon is a 2-year veteran of the project.
Well, it's nice seeing them getting all excited. They're out there hiking right now. You know, this is a kind of amazing island. It's really near, LA. You know, to get out here and see how wild things are, and also to be able to see just different endangered species, how the ecosystem works on the island is really a pretty incredible place to be.
We come across several more foxes on the hike. Each gets a workup, and all are looking good. So are their overall numbers across the island.
Their populations have grown from an estimated 85 individuals in 2002 to over 1,200 individuals today.
It's proof ecologist efforts to save the endangered fox are working, something these teens appreciate.
I think it's important to save these endangered species, which is the fox here on the island, for future generations, for them to be able to experience the same things that we did. So it's important to keep this population going.
3 foxes and a skunk? I'd say that's pretty good for a morning's work.
You know, skunks are kind of cute. I'm just glad nobody got sprayed.
Me too, but I think it's time for a break.
We'll see you back on Santa Cruz Island in a bit.
Up next, from day to night.
I think I hear something. I'm pretty sure they're up here.
There's only one way to find out.
Oh. Ready?
Yeah.
Coming up, things get batty.
Oh my gosh!
And back in the light of day, say cheese! It's Candid Camera for Wildlife. More Eco Company is next. This is the bat cave, where they say the bats are. Are you ready?
Maybe you should just go alone.
I'm not going alone. You're coming with me. Let's go.
All right, let's go.
Okay. We're in the bat lair.
I think I hear something. I'm pretty sure they're up here.
There's only one way to find out.
Oh. Ready?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh! Okay. Oh my God. Oh, we survived.
Oh, we survived.
That was a little bit stressful.
All right.
A lot stressful.
We'll still make more Eco Company episodes.
True.
Let's just get away from that.
You know, you can't always be everywhere to take pictures.
But on this island, they're using hidden cameras to do it.
Scientists are snapping photos of local wildlife.
But it's not for fun. The pictures are for an important research project.
It's candid camera for the curious. And judging from these pics, the local wildlife around here is certainly that.
Foxes are really curious like that. If there's anything unique or interesting, they will check it out.
So just what are the Nature Conservancy scientists doing, snapping pictures of these guys in the wild?
Camo trapping is the early detection technique that we are using to find invasive species if they exist on the island.
Non-natives that could arrive via floods or even in people's luggage could disrupt the ecosystem.
Things like rats and raccoons, maybe even possums, can do a lot of damage in a short period of time to our very rare and special species that we have out here on the island.
But here, it's so far so good, and the Leaf teens are here to help make sure it stays that way. Today, they're setting up new hidden cameras to keep tabs on what's going on out here.
All right, guys, so what are you hoping to catch on this thing?
Well, we're hoping to catch foxes since they're native to this vegetation and, you know, snap a few pictures of them.
First, they clear the way, so nothing gets in the way of the shot. Then the camera goes up. It's not as easy as it looks either. After a few tricky moments, it's time for step number 2, luring animals to the scene.
So you guys can smell from here, right?
Fun.
Smells good.
They dig a hole, soak lamb's wool in the smelly stuff, then into the ground it goes.
Okay, so we're gonna put that on top. Now this is gonna prevent the foxes from going in there and messing with it too much.
Once they're all set, it's time to let the camera roll. For the next 3 months, it'll be showtime out here. And the wildlife isn't exactly camera shy.
Things like foxes, they love it. They rub all up against it and roll in it and try to get all smelly.
As long as it's not a surprise visitor, it's all good.
On our island, we haven't actually captured any invasive species with these remote cameras. This is great news for us, right? This is what we're hoping to see, is no invasive mammal species on this island.
Now it's time for some more island exploring.
This must be the lizard arrow that points us in the right direction.
Let's go.
All right.
Hope we survive this trip.
Hope so too.
I believe we found ourselves a sea cave.
Yeah, I don't think I've been in one like this before, so we'll be back in a bit because we're gonna go explore.
We'll see you on the other side.
Up next, it's a perfect day for some weed pulling and a little friendly competition.
And so some people are working harder than others. But, you know, it's fine.
More from Santa Cruz Island is still ahead on Eco Company.
Hey guys, we're exploring Santa Cruz Island just off the California coast.
Today we're hanging out with the Nature Conservancy and teens from its LEAF program.
Looks like they're working hard behind us.
Let's go see what they're up to now.
All right.
To the untrained eye, this may all look, well, normal. A plot of land with plants and grasses every which way. But the paid summer interns from the Nature Conservancy's LEAF program know differently.
These weeds that we're pulling out, they're invasive species, and they're kind of destroying the species that are native to this biome. They're killing them, so we're trying to protect the native species here.
A native plant is one that seems to have made it over here all by itself or drifting over on the wind or currents. A non-native plant is one that hasn't evolved in this area and has been usually brought over by humans.
Non-native plants are a nuisance because they take resources from the native plants. Colleen Corey knows because she's a plant ecologist.
So what's one of the projects that the students have been working on?
Well, I had them weeding part of the wetland down here.
Those weeds look much shorter now.
Yeah, they do from up here. Once we get down there, you'll see that they're quite a bit taller and rather daunting.
At ground level, she's right. They're not easy to pull. But these teens aren't afraid of using a little muscle.
So we're like, it's a competition who has the biggest weed, and then whoever has the biggest weed gets a free toilet paper roll.
That's a surprise.
They have been great. They have just been terrific.
All of these efforts are part of a bigger plan to get this former wetland back in tip-top shape.
Why do you think it's so important that young people get involved so early on?
Well, I think that it's really important for young people to get involved because we're trying to start them young, right? Trying to start them, get them appreciating nature at a very early age. So when they go off to college and they go off to do their careers, they kind of remember that and feel passionate about saving this planet.
So from ground zero of a former wetland to mountaintops in search of foxes, not to mention a reconnaissance mission, these future environmental leaders are ready for action.
Yeah, I wish other kids can get the same opportunity as we do, like being on this beautiful island. So help them become a part of the solution.
It's a solution these teens are already a part of, on an island with a new lease on life.
I wish I could live another 50 years and come back and see what it looks like in 50 years, because I think it's going to be beautiful. I really do. It's going to be a biologist's delight.
Well, that wraps up another episode of Eco Company. Thanks for joining us.
We've had a great time exploring Santa Cruz Island, and we've definitely learned a lot.
Special thanks to the Nature Conservancy for showing us around and preserving places like this.
And remember, you too can be a part of the solution.
We'll see you here next time
On Eco Company.
Time for us to catch our boat.